Our society lacks empathy. I'll say it again, we lack empathy. We really do. I don't care what some people try to say, overall we do lack empathy. I personally believe if we didn't lack empathy, our society would be much more healthier. Our society would be run in a way where we're not treated like machines that need to be on 24/7. We would have proper downtime to heal, not only physically but mentally. I think if we truly had empathy, we would be truly offered the chance to work for everything we need to survive. We wouldn't be having to go in debt just to survive, and then be dependent on a job to pay off the debt we needed to accumulate to survive. That is how our society truly lacks empathy. Now, living through my life thus far, I've experienced some of this, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty when you are spent from all the hardships you've had to endure, the going into debt just to survive, the burning out because you've had to be on 24/7, where you don't get any downtime essentially to recover. And then, because it's not downtime needed to recover from a physical ailment, because it's a mental ailment, then you get looked down upon, because when it's mental, like, sure, yes, it is all in our heads, but that doesn't mean it can be dismissed. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean the illness isn't there. There is still the stigma on mental illness, but that's not the point here. Empathy is sorely lacking. If we were truly empathetic, people will not be seen as a resource. People would not be seen as machines. We would not be expected to not have any of our weaknesses as a human being. Never to materialize. We are human. We make mistakes. Not only do we make mistakes, where do you think the adage, the expression, to err is human, came from? It is because, yes, we are flawed in our humanity. We're not perfect beings. We make mistakes. We also, like machines, do need downtime and maintenance. Not necessarily the same way as machines. A machine, sure, will need maintenance. You tune up a car. You eventually have to replace certain parts of the car. And eventually, you gotta replace the vehicle itself. Humans, it's not that easy. Sure, we have transplants and stuff like that, and sure, somebody quits a job and another person is brought in. But it's not the same. I truly think in our society, we have lost the idea of what it is to be a person. Whether we're viewed as a number, whether we're viewed as a commodity, whether we're viewed as a machine, a meat robot, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, it boils down to lacking empathy. And this is also why I think a lot of people today are just miserable in their existence. Why we're all sick, whether it be physically or mentally. It's this uncaring world we live in that we have essentially allowed to end up set up this way, that we have done nothing to try to correct. Now, personally, I don't know how to correct any of this. Whether half of the year we have it set where half of the year you have off and the other half you work. Where in that time off, you get so much rest that you eventually want to go back to work because you're that bored. I've gone through long layoffs where by the time I finally get another job, I'm so focused at that job, not only because I'm rested, but because I was off long enough that I want to go back to a schedule. I want to go back. There's no better way to say it. I just want to go back to that schedule. We would be so much healthier if our humanity was allowed just to exist. We didn't have to hide it. We didn't have to suppress it. Because our humanity is what makes us unique. Our flaws are what makes us unique. If we were supposed to be all cookie cutter and interchangeable, whether you believe in God or whether you believe in evolution, either way, if we were supposed to essentially be off a conveyor belt, off a product line, I think you would find evidence to show that's what we were supposed to be. We are all very much individual. Now, I have referenced in the past to being a skeptic, a pessimist, and a cynic. And to be quite honest, when I have brought up some of these concerns, the concerns I've voiced in past videos, sometimes people do brush it off, like, oh, you just hate everything, oh, you're negative about everything, oh, blah, blah, blah. I could be honest, it's probably true in some instances. However, I think this is one where we do need to take a second look at around us. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely out to lunch with this. But I think if we did inject some empathy, we could get some positive results. Now, maybe it's more than just empathy. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I am right in that, like in a broad stroke. But as far as fine details, I'm way off. But still, we need to look at this. We need to come together and we need to make this world better. Why do we accept to live in misery? I will never understand that. So hopefully this rant that is probably a little incoherent and whatever has got you to think a little bit. And maybe tomorrow when you don't understand why someone has the opinion they do, maybe you try to look at life through their eyes and how they see it and how their experience has shaped how they view the world. Maybe you can understand why that person sounds that way. And maybe that person, having seen you do that, could do the same to you. And maybe you could connect a little more. Think of how many times that could happen in your life where you bring more people together, you get more deep connections with people. Maybe then we would actually live in a society that takes our own well-being very seriously. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.